Hello everybody, and welcome to my 540 subscriber special, in which I will be breaking down the fourth and final episode of Walking with Cavemen, The Survivors. Thank you all so much for getting me to 540 subscribers, and let's just get right into it. The episode is split into 3 different segments, as well as an epilogue, them all at the end. The first is 400,000 years ago in southern England. The next 2 segments are both set 140,000 years ago, one in France, the other in southern Africa. The final epilogue segment is set 30,000 years ago in southern Europe. All of these, except the segment in Africa, appear to have been filmed in Iceland. I couldn't find the filming location for the African segment. The main hominins for segment 1 in southern England are Homo heidelbergensis. Homo heidelbergensis was a species of Homo from the mid-Pleistocene, 700 to 200,000 years ago, of Europe as well as potentially Asia and Africa, meaning it lived in the right place and time to appear. Homo heidelbergensis is no longer thought to be the last common ancestor of Homo sapiens and Neanderthals. Megaloceros returned from Mammoth Journey. Megaloceros was a cervine deer from the early Pleistocene to mid-Holocene, approximately 1.2 million years ago to 7.7 thousand years ago of Eurasia, meaning it lived in the right place and time to appear. Megaloceros giganteus, or the Irish elk, is the specific species that appears in the episode. Megaloceros giganteus lived from the mid-Pleistocene to mid-Holocene, 450 to 7.7 thousand years ago of Eurasia, meaning it lived in the right place and time to appear. The Megaloceros' coloration is almost perfect, although it should probably have a thicker fur coat. We then jump forward 260,000 years to 140,000 years ago and travel to France. Neanderthals returned from Mammoth Journey in a slightly altered form, regular actors rather than actors in makeup, with these being the main characters of the France segment. Neanderthals, or Homo neanderthalensis, were a species of Homo from the late Pleistocene, 130 to 40,000 years ago, of Europe and Western Asia, meaning they lived in the right place to appear, but would not have evolved for approximately 10,000 years after the segment's setting. The actors playing the Neanderthals are of similar skin tone to that which Neanderthals are believed to have had. It is claimed in the episode that Neanderthals weren't able to imagine things, a somewhat common belief at that time, but this is no longer supported. A mountain hare, Lepus timidus, appears. This species dates back to the mid-Pleistocene, and although they are only found in Scandinavia, northern Russia, Scotland, Ireland, and some Mediterranean regions today, their range extended further south into Europe previously. Woolly mammoths returned from Mammoth Journey as well. Woolly mammoths, Mammothus primigenius, were a species of mammoth elephantine from the mid-Pleistocene to late Holocene, 400 to 3.7 thousand years ago, of northern Eurasia and Canada, meaning it lived in the right place and time to appear. Woolly mammoths did not have overlapping tusks. This was a feature unique to Columbian mammoths. The Neanderthals hunt the mammoths by dropping a stone on them from a cliff. There is evidence for this, which was initially interpreted as Neanderthals forcing the mammoths over cliffs, as shown in Walking with Beasts, but between Walking with Beasts and Walking with Cavemen this was reinterpreted, and the more accurate interpretation, which is still believed today, was shown in this episode. The episode then jumps to southern Africa, but stays 140,000 years ago, to catch up with the final hominin introduced. Homo sapiens is a species of Homo that evolved in the mid-Pleistocene, 300,000 years ago, in Africa, meaning they lived in the right place and time to appear. The Homo sapiens are accurately portrayed by actors of African descent. It is believed that Homo sapiens had not left Africa by this point in time. A lizard appears. I am unable to identify it specifically. a beetle appears. It looks to be a Stenocara gracillipes, which is known from the Namib Desert of southern Africa. Darkling beetles, Tenebrionidae, the family that Stenocara gracillipes belongs to, dates back to the Jurassic, so it lived around the right place and right time to appear. A snake appears. It looks to be a member of Samophis, potentially Samophis scocari, the Scocari sand racer. Samophis is found throughout Africa as well as parts of the Middle East, while Samophis scocari is only known from far North Africa and the Middle East. The genus would almost certainly have evolved by 140,000 years ago, meaning it lived in the right time and potentially the right place to appear. An ostrich egg appears. Hollowed and used to store water, ostriches existed at the right place and time for their egg to appear. For the final segment, the episode returns to southern Europe, but jumps 110,000 years forward to 30,000 years ago. We see Neanderthals here, returning, but unfortunately Neanderthals had been extinct for approximately 10,000 years by this point in time. Homo sapiens is believed to have reached Europe by around this time. Neanderthals are no longer thought to have been outcompeted by Homo sapiens, instead having been absorbed into our gene pool. And that was The Survivors. I hope you enjoyed it. This has been a bit rushed. I've recorded almost all of it the day before it's released. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you join me next time when I'll be breaking down the first episode of Sea Monsters, and believe me, it's going to be a big one. With that aside, I have a Discord server and a second channel, both linked in the description. All music that I used is linked in the description, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.